Hello and welcome to Love Talk. Now, everyone wants honesty in a relationship.
Yes, please.
But can there be such a thing as too much honesty or brutal honesty? Can you hurt someone being honest?
Of course, you can kill someone. You can completely destroy their confidence, thinking that you're actually doing a good thing, but you are actually doing the opposite.
And actually, I've heard people say, with me, I say what I have to say, as if this is a good thing, because you have something to say, but there are different ways to say it. Actually, have a look at this video.
And I'm going to take the mac and cheese, please. And did you want to get a glass of wine, or?
Let's make it a bottle.
I'll take a bottle of your house red, please. Thank you.
So, do you not eat meat either? I mean, because you ordered the mac and cheese, so I...
Right, no. I gave up meat like years ago.
That is great. It's really good, because I really don't like to date meat eaters. I mean, those poor animals, right?
Right? The cows and the chickens, and they have to like stick them together with all the bacteria and the E. coli.
Oh my gosh, E. coli is the worst. Are we really talking about E. coli?
What am I saying?
So what do you do?
I am an actor.
Oh, so you're unemployed. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're not gonna ask me what I do, are you? I work with children, so...
You work with children?
Yeah. Love them.
She's a babysitter.
A couple of them are even vegetarians now because of me. I converted them.
Oh, great. Brainwash the kids. How about sports?
Yes.
You like sports? You play football? You like football? You watch football?
Love football. I hate football.
Awesome. God, you know how hard it is to find a girl that likes football? Who's your team?
Mark Sanchez, really hot, wearing a jersey that says the Jets. Love the Jets.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Jets? I'm a Giants fan.
Oh. Yeah. Do you like to read?
I know how to read.
I've actually been reading a lot about transcendental meditation. Have you heard about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been reading like a ton of articles about it.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. She has no idea what she's talking about right now. You could not last 1 minute with your own thoughts. I mean, listen to yourself. Can you go 1 minute without talking? Oh, I'm a vegan. Oh, I love kids. Yeah, right. Good luck shutting that brain off, darling.
Dr. Oz, Clint Eastwood.
You've got to be kidding me. I can't believe I said that out loud.
Nice necklace.
Did this guy really just judge me? Seriously?
I don't even know why I go on dates anymore.
Are you kidding me right now? Mister, I'm an actor.
I'm wasting my time.
That's the last time I ever go on OkCupid.
And now I'm sitting here wasting my time thinking about wasting
Somebody
my
call
time.
me, somebody call me, somebody call me, somebody.
God, get
me
me
out of here!
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
You want to get out of here?
Yes.
Your place?
Yes.
So you see, at least the positive thing about that video is that all the brutal honesty was happening in their minds. They didn't actually say it.
Except from the last part.
Yes. Now, it becomes a problem, Lenny, when people think that just because you should be honest in a relationship, that gives you a green light to say whatever you want, how you want it. And that can be a big cause for problems in relationships.
Sometimes they are not even trying to be honest. They just think to themselves, I'm a free person, I'm free. I say things as they are, and if you like me, good. If you don't, good. You know, this is me. And they think that this is actually a very good quality. They don't mind people around them, they just...
But that we can say is not really honesty. That is being arrogant. There is a difference between being honest and being arrogant. And especially if you are in a relationship, you want to keep that person with you and you want to keep them happy. And of course, you have to be honest, sincere, but you cannot hurt this person just because you feel that you can say whatever you want. Being in a relationship with someone we love doesn't mean we can say anything we want as we want. It means you need to protect how this person feels as well.
And this is how it works. This is how I see it, okay? For example, you are in a relationship. There will be things, if you are in a serious relationship especially, that you will have to tell your partner. Because like, you know, well, we hear people say no one else will tell him what you are going to tell him. You know, there are things that if you don't say, no one else will, and will help him. So you have to also understand in a way, okay, he's telling me this, okay, why is he saying that? Maybe I actually need to hear this. You know, you need to understand both sides. And if you are the person being honest, then you have to be mindful and see, hold on, maybe your partner was already a victim of abuse when she was growing up. Or maybe you need to understand her background and also that she's a woman or a man, and how sensitive they are and how sensitive the subject that you were talking about is.
Absolutely.
I mean,
So we went to the streets of London to ask people what they think about this, about being brutally honest and how that makes the other person feel. Here's what they had to say.
I think honesty in relationships is really important. I think it's everything in a relationship to make it work.
I think I am as honest as most people are. So I like to think about big things. I'm quite honest, but I probably tell quite a few white lies during the day. Quite a few, yeah.
I think some people choose to be brutally honest too often, and they are simply trying to create a show, and I don't think there isn't always a place for being brutally honest.
If you're not honest with each other, then what's the point? It's a relationship built on lies, and it's never going to work, is it really?
Well, I'd say honesty is important, but no one's really brutally honest. Like, I don't know, if you're brutally honest with like everyone, then you're probably not going to have any friends.
How much brutal honesty is healthy in one relationship?
As long as you're not upsetting the person, as long as you're honest in a nice way that considers their feelings, then I think that's fine. So yeah, as long as you're honest up to a point where you're still nice to the person, yeah.
Brutal honesty I can appreciate. It's a key principle in any relationship. Brutal honesty, sometimes when you come across as brutally honest, you can be a little bit of you might come across as a bad guy, let's put it nicely, since we're being filmed, but yeah, that's basically what I think.
How honest would you like a partner to be with you when you're in a relationship with them?
To be honest, I'd rather they just like lied and were made out I was really good than like pointing out my faults.
And do you consider yourself a very brutally honest person?
I'm not honest at all.
And so what situations do you find yourself not being brutally honest with your partner?
When you don't want to start World War III, that's the one. Just leave it out, because you're gonna be in the doghouse basically. So yeah, just play it cool.
And would you prefer your partner to be brutally honest with you all the time, or just some of the times?
Of course I want my partner to be brutally honest with me, but I mean, like I said, it varies. If you're having a massive argument with somebody that you love, it's not going to help if they're brutally honest, because it could, when you're in an argument, could rub you up the wrong way and you'll say something you regret. So it works both ways, But
Thank you.
I think it's about timing and your approach, but I think you do it carefully and bear in mind their feelings. But I think it's essentially everything in a relationship. Honesty is everything.
Just be honest as possible and don't take it to heart, really, because the person loves you. So they're being honest because they love you. That's what.
I think the problem is that people there in the street didn't really grasp what we were trying to say, because everyone's saying it's important to be honest. I know, but let me give you an example of what brutally honest or being brutally honest is. I remember a Winston Churchill quote who said to a woman, he said like this: "I, my dear, may be drunk, but tomorrow I will be sober and you are still ugly." That's what it means to be brutally honest. And there is a different way to say.
Was he single?
No, he was married.
Oh.
But I mean, this is a kind of. But he didn't say that to his wife. It was someone else.
Well, you
but
don't know.
This is the kind of honesty that is not healthy.
That
right?
kills.
That kills.
But I just wanted to clarify something, because people were commenting about this, and they were saying, oh, I can just, say a little white lie. You don't need to lie for you not to hurt the person. Oh, you need to understand how it's the art of communication. You need to be sensitive to your, I don't know if that's how they say, with your surroundings. People, what kind of people are around me? And this goes for many ways, not just a relationship. What kind of people are around me? Okay, what kind of person is my partner? So let me say what I have to say, but in a special way. And this is how much you should know your partner for you to know how to speak to them. So you don't need to lie, because if you are found out, you are also in trouble.
Absolutely.
Into big trouble.
What we're saying here today is not that you should not be honest. You must be honest. But you must be honest in a way that will be considerate to how this person will deal with what you just said. Now, today, in today's show, we have a couple with an amazing story of being brutally honest. Because, you know, there are people who use chat-up lines to go and tell someone that they like them. And this guy, this gentleman, went to this lady that he had been keeping an eye on, and his chat-up line was, "Why do you cut your hair like a man?"
Wow.
And that is,
how
in my
appealing.
mind, I'm not a woman, but how offensive is that line?
I don't know. It's very offensive.
Right. So brace yourself, because you'll be hearing about their story and how she reacted to that. Because you probably think she might have slapped him, but you'd be surprised. You're going to hear how she reacted to that. We're going to go to a short break, and we'll be right back.
Yep. Welcome back. And if you have a partner, if your partner has this problem of being really brutally honest, and you have questions, maybe you're going through a hard time in your relationship, maybe you don't know what to do, what to say, how to behave around him or her, you can always email us on lovelab@lovetalkshow.tv, and we will do our best to help you, okay?
So let's talk about a few tips on two things. First of all, if you have this way of thinking, this is how I am, I'm honest, this is how I roll, you either like me or you hate me, then we have some tips for you. But also, if you say, my partner is brutally honest, they hurt me with his or her honesty, then we have some tips for you as well. And the first thing is very important. If you are the person who have this reputation for being that honest, you need to draw a line between being honest in a helpful way and hurting that person. Because the thing about saying something that can be hurtful is that once you say it, you can't really take it back, right?
And you know, there's this wrong idea that, oh, you know, I say it as it is, and I'm the man or the woman. You are super confident about that. But really, you can actually look quite foolish when you speak your mind, when you know, this is how I say it. It's not right. It's not correct. And you will, if you look really deep, you will see that the person is hurt with you.
Yeah, and the thing is that, for example, men and women also, they deal with certain comments in a different way, right? For example, you can say to a guy, look, you're going bald, right? Oh, you're going bald. I mean, the guy doesn't really care, right? He'll make a joke about it and say, oh, this is how she likes it. She likes me bald, but he doesn't really
bold
care.
And shiny.
Yeah, he doesn't. Honestly, he doesn't care. Now, saying something like that to a woman, it's very different,
yes.
Right? I mean, I'm no woman, but I've been married to one for 14 years, so I know how it works, right?
I hope so. Yes, you do. I've taught you well when it comes to that. But it's true. I mean, you have to, like I said in the first part of the show, you need to understand how the person works, if I can say so. How the person is. Is my partner sensitive? Maybe she's not ready to hear, listen, you're putting on weight. You know, it's not good for your health. Maybe you don't even mean it in a way, or you're ugly now, but you actually care for her health. There's ways of saying that, or anything else really.
And maybe you don't even need to say you've put on weight. You can say, listen, let's join a gym together. I mean, That's a nice way to
Yes.
say, let's exercise, let's get fit.
Exactly.
You didn't have to say that. So you were honest, but you were honest in a constructive way. Now let's talk about those people who are on the receiving end of this brutal honesty. And I think the first thing to think about is, you know, if that person is saying something to you that can hurt you, but they were being sincere with you, there may be a chance that this person just didn't say their words right, and they may not be trying to hurt you. And you should explain to the person, look, you hurt me saying that. I mean, were you trying to hurt me, or did you just, the words not come out right? So don't judge the person immediately because you were hurt, because maybe they didn't mean to. Things sometimes come out wrong, right?
And most people who have this problem, they don't know they have this problem. And that is the problem. They don't realize that they are very abrupt when they speak. They are very, you know, straightforward, very forward, and then it hurts people. They don't know. So maybe, like my husband just said, maybe you need to think about this. Maybe, you know, the way he was brought up. Maybe his mother was like this,
and you
or
know,
his father.
Let's be honest. I mean, this has actually happened to us. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
we have said things to each other that weren't meant to be hurtful, but they ended up being hurtful, and then we had to clarify things. Look, that's not what I meant to say, and we try to understand the other person's point of view. Now, the other thing, if you're on the receiving end of this brutal honesty, is that if it is indeed a problem where the person just doesn't care about how you feel when you are spoken to, then you need to sit down with this person and you need to explain to him or her, listen, the way that you express yourself to me hurts me. Not once, not twice, but all the time. And this is a problem. This can cause serious problems in our relationship. So please, when you speak more like this, more like that, and try to make the person understand that this is hurting you. Because if they truly love you and they understand that, they will try to change.
Now, we need to see when is the best time to speak. Okay, let's say that you're hurt by something that he said or she said. It's not wise for you to, you know, get yourself into an argument and say, oh, you know, what is this way of you speaking to me? You know, who do you think you are? And blah blah. It doesn't work. Okay, so you need to choose a good time when you know you are not talking about that same thing anymore. You moved on into something else, and then when things are quiet, go and talk to him or to her. Tell her or tell him, listen, you know the way you speak to me sometimes, you make me feel this way, you make me feel that way, and I don't like it. Now, what you cannot do is to bottle it up, because one day the bottle will break. Okay? It doesn't work. So even for this, you need to be honest. Can you see? You are being a victim of brutal honesty. You also have to be honest about how you feel. Otherwise, you're going to be very, very miserable and unhappy.
And what we're going to do in just a few moments is we are going to find out from the couple who has lived through this brutal honesty, how they've dealt with it.
And how they survived.
How they survived, because they're very happy. The couple you're going to listen from or listen about here today, they're very, very happy. So they must have done something right to deal with that, and we want you to hear their story. But before we hear the interview we did with them, here's how their quiz, the usual quiz we did with the couple, here's how it went.
Hello and welcome to another game of How Well Do You Know Your Partner? We'll be asking our lovely guests 5 questions each about the partner and test just how well they actually know each other. Right, let's get started, but ladies first. So now I'm going to start with Maria. Maria, are you ready for my questions? Okay, question number 1. What was his first job? And time starts now.
His first job was, I think it was in catering. Catering, something to do with catering.
But what exactly?
He used to work
Well, time's up.
Kitchen porter. Kitchen porter.
Well, you got it right after the time was up. Never mind. Okay, I've got another one for you. Actually, I have 3 more for you. No, 4 more. Excuse. Right. When he was younger, what did he want to be when he grew up? And time starts now.
He wanted to be a mechanic.
No. Quickly.
An
Well,
engineer?
I don't know. Listen, Maria, you got it right at the end.
Did I?
I don't know if I should count this as a yes or a no, but we'll see with our producer later on. Okay, question
Okay.
number 3. Are you ready? What is his favorite meal? Time starts now.
I know he likes African food.
Correct? Okay, are you ready for the 4th question?
I am.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What is his biggest fear? Time starts now.
He doesn't like heights.
Well done. I mean, okay, but don't clap your hands yet because we still have one final question
Okay.
for you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Right. What would he say is his best trait or characteristic? Time starts now.
His best characteristic is his smile.
Exactly.
His smile.
Well done, Maria. You did really, really well. Okay. But now it's his turn to answer the questions, and let's see how well he knows you.
Okay.
Because he was kind of, I don't know if it was you or him, he was kind of boasting before we started recording, saying that this is going to be easy. Anyway, Jimmy, are you ready for the questions?
I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I
This
hope.
one is going to be challenging. What shoe size, forgive me, is she? And time starts now.
Her shoe size is size 6.
Well done! I mean, I'm actually surprised that you know her shoe size. Anyway, very well. Let's go to the second question. Ready?
You ready? Yes.
What was a favorite subject at school? And time starts now.
Favorite subject at school?
Uh-oh. And that's it, time's up?
Don't know.
It's biology. Have you ever asked her?
Never, no.
What were you doing during the dating period? Anyway, you still have a few more questions, okay? Another one. Who does she admire most in life? And time starts now. Tell me, someone that she admires.
Admires most in life?
Yes. Oops. Time's up. It's Nelson Mandela. Even I admire the
I
man.
nearly said that, you know.
So you have to
I
try.
should
Don't be
have
afraid,
said
okay?
yes, yeah.
Listen, you still have 2 questions to go. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. I can feel you a bit tense. What happened to your confidence?
Because I'm doing so bad.
Right. Okay, here we go. What stresses your partner most in life? And time starts now.
Sorry, say that again?
What makes her stressed? You know, what stresses her the most in life? In general? You know, to do with life. Time is almost
her
up.
job? Her job? Her work?
No.
No.
What stresses her out is if she cannot achieve what she wants. Yeah?
Yes.
Are you nervous, Jimmy? I feel a bit nervous today. Okay, you have one more, okay? You ready? What accomplishment would she say she is most proud of? And time starts now.
Accomplishment she's most proud of?
Yeah, in her life, what was it?
Getting married.
Exactly. Oh, that you know, huh? I'm the man. All right then. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for. But first, I would like to thank my wonderful guests for their participation. We will be returning back to the show very shortly. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. And as we promised earlier, we have a couple here that, on the topic of the show about being brutally honest, his first approach to his now wife was brutally honest. Now, let me introduce you to Jimmy and Maria. You have seen them on the quiz, And by the way, you did better than him, Maria. You got 4 right.
He was quite confident before we started the quiz. But
yeah, but you didn't.
No, he didn't deliver.
Confidence
Not this time.
that much, Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, when we talk about pick-up lines, chat-up lines, and trying to romance a lady, you did it in a terrible way, Jimmy.
Well, he still got the lady. So what happened?
So hold it. Let's recap. You went to her, you saw her, and your first approach, your line. What was your line again?
My line was, honestly, I said, why do you cut your hair like a man? And when I said, I didn't know why I said it. But after I said it, I realized, hang on a minute, there could be a problem here. I was waiting for a reaction.
What reaction were you waiting for?
Naturally, if you say that to a lady, she will get angry with you.
Give you a slap.
It was like an insult, you know. So I was ready to run across the road. I was waiting for the fire, and nothing happened. I looked at her again. I said, "What kind of woman is this? She's not even upset."
She was different.
Yeah, that was what got my attention.
But Maria, when you heard that, what was your initial reaction?
Well, I remember what came out of my mouth that time was just a laugh. I couldn't think of anything.
You didn't take him seriously.
Anything. Honestly, I just could. The only thing that I could remember was a laugh, and that was it. And then I also remember asking him, "Does it bother you?" And then he said, "Well, kind of." That's what he said.
But did you, for example, after you got married, did you find that he had this brutal honesty kind of thing about him, that he was very honest about things?
Yes, I did.
So how was your reaction then? Because, you know, first impressions are not always fair. Maybe he was nervous and all that he could come up with was like, you know, your hair looks like a man's hair. But then after, when you got married, does he do that often?
No. He doesn't do that much. But sometimes, some comments are so hateful, but in a calmer way.
Okay.
What I can say
so
is
he doesn't mean it in a bad way then?
He doesn't chew his words. He speaks out his mind. So it's kind of in a positive way.
But you understand it in a positive way. That's the thing. For example, when you first said that comment, Jimmy, your now wife, she did a different reaction from, in 100 women, 99 would have been very angry at you.
Of course.
She was the odd one out, right? In a good way. So that's a good thing. But you said he is a very honest person, straight to the point.
Straight to the point, yeah.
And do you appreciate that, or you think sometimes he's too honest, or he's mellowed down in his honesty?
It's getting better now. Because sometimes, whenever he makes those kind of comments, I always tell him, "Look, this is getting too much." and now it's really...
She's so calm, even the way she talks about it.
Yeah, this is getting too much. Don't you think it's a bit rude? And then he would say, "Oh, I'm just trying to be honest." But as I said before, it's really getting better.
Would he do that with you, or with you saying, don't you think it's getting a bit too rude, but that with you or with someone else, with other people?
It could be with anyone.
So he's generally very honest.
Yeah,
brutally honest.
I mean,
it could be with anyone.
It's a good thing. You know, I used to have a bit of that problem before myself. I was brought up like this, in that kind of environment. My dad used to say whatever he had to say, and he didn't mean it in a bad way. He said, "I'm a man who will never lie." So, but you know, I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean it in a bad way. But we do need to learn to tune it down a little bit, or to say it in a different way, isn't it?
I'll give you an example. Like if we were going out somewhere, she got dressed, and I come in the room and I take a look, and I say, "It doesn't suit you." Doesn't suit you.
So what do you do, Marie, when he says something like that? I need to hear this from her.
It's funny. The first comment that he made, it didn't get into me. I found it funny. But when we got married, as soon as he starts making those comments, sometimes I'm crying.
It's like, I don't know if I cry,
But that's the power of being brutally honest. For example, you guys have been married for how long now?
6 years.
6 years. So after 6 years, you've probably have noticed that you can be honest in different ways.
Yes.
Rather
Yes.
than saying, look, that doesn't suit you, you can say, look, maybe that dress would look better with those shoes.
Exactly.
So you're still being honest, but not brutally honest.
Yeah.
But have you learned that by now, Jimmy?
Yes, I've changed a bit.
you know, 6 years of marriage, you still actually still getting to know each other, you know, still knowing how to deal with the person. Because, you know, Maria, I'm sure you know this, but I like to say it every time. Men, they just call each other fat, bald, and they're fine with it. It's like, you know.
It doesn't matter. The other day, a colleague of mine said, oh, your belly is getting a little bit bigger. And we laugh about it.
No, my husband, I mean, it's just funny, but when we do it among ourselves.
I can't say to Helena, oh, you look
this
at
and that.
No.
Why? It would be the end of the world.
So Jimmy, you've come to learn how to be honest, but in a different way now.
Yes.
Have you changed or you're changing?
We're both changing.
You mean her accepting your honesty and you tuning it down a bit?
Yeah, she's beginning to understand. Sometimes she asks me before she puts on the dress, say, Jimmy, what do you think? I say, this or that. I say, nah, this one is good.
But you've started to being honest in a different way.
Yes.
Now. I wanted to ask you something, Jimmy, because you've been married for 6 years, so you've had other relationships before. For example, you were married. Tell us about what happened to that marriage.
My first marriage was a mess. I think I just got married for like a routine, because everybody was getting married. I thought it's something I have to do. So I got married, but I didn't take care of the marriage. I was still living like a single man, even though after I got married. I was doing my own things. My money was my money. My car was my car. So no communication. And it got to a stage, it was constant argument. And when she was talking to me, I don't even listen. She's there talking, but I don't know what she's saying. I miss half of it. So
that's a problem, you know.
I remember there was a day I was in the kitchen cooking. I just came with this shopping. I was cooking chicken and everything. She was trying to communicate, but I wasn't really. I didn't get it. And as soon as I finished the cooking, I left the kitchen and I came back and she emptied the whole pot in the dustbin. The whole cooking in the dustbin.
And
it was like that.
Am I right in thinking that marriage broke down also because you had a serious addictive nature? You were addicted to different things. What were you addicted to?
That time, my addiction got worse. I was smoking then, but my addiction got worse after she left me. Because suddenly I realized, well, I've lost something. Now I appreciate. To say, you don't know until you lose it. So after she left, then I came back to life to say, wow, I missed. There was an empty space there, and I was lonely. So I started drinking more alcohol, smoking drugs, filling my day, the whole day going to the bookie to gamble.
What kind of drugs did you used to take, Jimmy?
I started with marijuana, and then that wasn't enough. My cousin introduced me to crack cocaine.
You took crack cocaine?
I took crack cocaine.
You don't look like the typical man who takes crack cocaine.
Terrible.
You look smart with your glasses and everything. But
well, that thing is very dangerous, very addictive. Because I remember he owed me money. My cousin owed me money, 50 pounds. And he wasn't going to give me. He gave me this thing instead. I said, what is it? He said, taste it, try it. I said, no, I don't want this. You can't give me this for 50 pounds. He said, well, it's worth more than 50 pounds. I said, I'm not interested. I don't even know where it was. But I made a mistake. He was very crafty. He cut into two and gave me, he said, this is for you, free. I'll give you your 50 pounds tomorrow. I said, okay, what do I do with it? He said, just smoke it. Like you smoke your cigarette or your weed. And before I went to bed, I did. And you know what?
That was it.
The next day I went to look for him to say, have you got that stuff?
Bad?
Yes, very bad, dangerous. He said, well, if you want more, your 50 pounds is gone. I said, yeah, take the 50 pounds, give me more. So that was it.
So you became heavily addicted.
Terrible.
Addicted.
Now, I know that you've overcome that. What I want to find out from you guys after the break is this. You got married 6 years ago. You were already adults, had your lives, your career. I want to know about the challenges of starting a relationship later in life, because you had other relationships, then you were single for a while, then starting to date again. For some people can be frustrating, can be daunting, scary. We want to know how that was for you and how you adapted to that period after being married, and what the secret is to not letting your past destroy your present. So we're going to go into a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from this man who is a reformed, brutally honest man. Not so brutal anymore. Now he's just honest. He's not brutally honest anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear how the beginning of a relationship, when you're no longer 18 or 20, how that is. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here with the couple who has first-hand experience in being brutally honest. But we found out already from Jimmy that he's not that brutally honest anymore. Now, guys, we want to find out, maybe from you, Maria. You got married 6 years ago. You started a relationship when you were already adult with a life. How is it starting to date again? Is that something that you were afraid of doing? You were scared? How was it?
In the beginning, I didn't know how to adjust, because I think it's normal to everyone. Because like taking for example from my previous experience, what happened before, my partner just died suddenly, and I didn't even get a chance to know him. So it took me about 11 years for me to be able to
get over that and everything.
Exactly, to get over it. It took me quite a long time. So for me, that's why even in between, wasn't even comfortable to engage myself in a relationship. So when I met him, I was kind of, I didn't know my space. I didn't know
what to do.
Exactly, yeah. But as time went on, things just started, falling into place.
Okay. So do you think it's more difficult starting a relationship later in life than it is when you're younger?
I think to be honest, it varies. It depends. It depends. It really depends.
But for example, we have a daughter. How was it with the adapting to the new? You got married again, you have a daughter. How was it for you, for her?
For him as well.
For him as well, of course.
Okay, when I got married, my daughter was almost a teenager. She's now 24. So, so it didn't make any negative impact. She understood the reason why I decided to get married. And she gave me the full support, and by the way, they are really best friends. So nice. Which really helped. Yeah.
I wish she was here for me to ask her if he's been brutally honest with her as well when it comes to things.
So your honesty doesn't affect your relationship with her.
No.
That's good. That's good. So guys, I mean, what is it, for example, in these 6 years? What is it that you've learned with each other? Because when we are in a relationship, we always take positive things from the other person. What is it the most positive thing that you've learned with Maria?
I did not want this selfish attitude I had with my first marriage. All the mistakes I made in my first marriage, I did not want to make any of those mistakes. Sometimes it tries to creep in, and I just have to wake up. Like when I said something to her and she was crying because I was honest. So I had to apologize.
You were not honest, you were brutally honest. right?
So I had to go back to
Let's
and
look at the meaning
apologize.
of honesty. I mean,
Yeah.
being honest and.
So you went back and apologized.
I apologized, and I explained to her why I said, look, nobody will tell you this outside. People can say something is wrong, but they won't tell you. I'm the one who will tell you, because
This
I'm
is
your
really
husband.
nice, you know.
And then I understood it from his point of view when he explained the reason why he was trying to make those comments. He said, look, I'm not trying to pin
Hurt
you
you.
down. Exactly. I'm trying to help you. And then I said, okay, it's kind of makes sense.
I really like the way you went about it. It's actually very mature. It means it's true. I mean, there's things that no one else will tell you.
But still,
There's ways of saying it, though.
but still not the way you were saying it, right? But you are learning that. So you said you've learned with her, you've learned to share,
Yes.
which is the opposite of what you did before.
To be more careful, to value.
And she's very good, because I don't feel any pressure when I'm with her. She doesn't put any pressure on me, which I really appreciate. And if we have to do things, she does. You know, sometimes I need to take these 2 glasses to the kitchen, and they will be pushing the glasses. When are you taking the glass? When are you taking the glass? They put pressure on you that you don't even want to take the glass.
Look at my husband.
You don't even want to take
I
those
know
kind
what you
of
mean,
pressure.
Jimmy.
Yeah. So she's not like that. I feel peaceful when I'm with her, and that really helps me a lot.
So this is how you feel when you were asked to do something many times because you don't do it the first time. Okay, I've learned something with you today. So what about you, Maria? What did you learn with him? What did you? Because of course you get married, you learn things. You learn a lot about yourself as well. I'm sure you've learned a lot with yourselves. Like, oh, I didn't know I was like this, so I have to change. But what did you learn? What do you admire in him that you saw that, wow?
What I can say I admire about him is he's giving. He's the kind of person who's very kind. And
she's being brutally honest here, but the right way, yeah?
The right way.
Yeah, he's very kind. He's not selfish. When he said to me he used to be selfish, I kept on asking, are you sure you used to be selfish? Because he's not selfish anymore. So those kind of characteristics really stood out. He's very giving, very helpful. He does most of the cooking in the house, by the way.
Well, he likes to cook chicken, isn't it? He was saying that again.
Yeah, so yeah. He does, you know, there's some, especially African men, they think that if you're a wife, you have to do everything.
Oh, they're very...
From cooking, washing, and cleaning the house. But with him, it's
very
very
traditional
different.
usually, isn't it?
It's very different. It's always different.
It's not just African
Jimmy, you've
men.
scored many points here tonight. Your scoreboard is full. You can't go more up than what it's gone.
Sometimes she tries to help. When I'm cooking, I like cooking. I enjoy cooking. When I'm in the kitchen making the food, cooking, she comes and says, "Do you need any help?" I said, "No."
That to a woman is priceless.
It
let me tell you.
It is.
So you're scoring a lot of points with your lady, let me tell you.
So it's really good to see that you guys have a very good relationship. I mean, I know you guys because you've actually come to the love therapy seminar recently to tell your story to people who were there. So we've known you guys for a while.
Very inspiring.
And it's really good to see, because for example, when people have been married in the past and they've had relationships before, they usually bring a lot of their luggage, their baggage into the relationship. And it's really good to see that you've been able to leave that baggage outside. And that makes a lot of difference, because you look like a newlywed couple, which is good.
And it's about also, like he said, learning from his past mistakes. And I'm sure, well, it was quite unfortunate what happened to you, but you know, today is what matters.
Exactly.
But he learned from his mistakes, because if he hadn't, chances are that the marriage today wouldn't be successful.
And last question, maybe for you, Maria. What would you have to say for those people, men and women, who are watching us now, and they have a habit of being so honest that they end up killing the relationship? So for example, you've understood where he was coming from with his honest comments, right? But he's still changing. But what would you have to say to a woman who doesn't think of the consequences of her so-called honest comments, brutally killing honest comments? What advice would you give that woman, that man, on how they can change?
The advice that I can give, especially to women, if let's say they're still dating, and if a boyfriend says something which is very offensive or something that might sound really rude, obviously it hurts, but you need to understand them. You need to understand why they're saying that before you actually take it in. So what I can advise other women is to understand the reason behind it, the reason why they're saying it. Because I understood from his point of view that he didn't like short hair. And
but he said it in the complete wrong way.
Even though he said it in a complete wrong way, yeah. So we need to understand the reason why.
Right, this is very important.
The reason why they're saying it.
Yeah, that I think what you're saying is that sometimes the meaning is not to hurt the person, but that doesn't mean that the other person has a green card to say whatever he wants because the other one understands. So it's a balance. So guys, thank you very much for being on the program. And I guess before we go, something that's very important for people to understand in relationships is that although honesty is important, sincerity is important, there is the right kind of honesty and the wrong kind of honesty. And when you do say the truth to that person, you still have to be considerate to how that person will hear what you have to say. Because I can make a comment about Helena's clothes in a constructive way or in a destructive way, and both ways will be right. Will be honest. They will just have one will have a very negative effect, the other one will have a very positive effect.
Of course, and you can never take away something that you've said. Even you can apologize, but you already said it. So it might take you a long time for you to show the person otherwise, for you to change the, heal the wound that you've created on the other person. But it's not a very good thing to do. You have to really think before you speak.
So the advice is, if you are going to say something, a comment that you think is honest, just think what the person's reaction will be. Just think if you will actually be lifting that person up with your comments or putting that person down. If you are absolutely certain that the person will react well to your comments and that will help them and that will make them feel better about themselves or will help them to see how they can improve, then by all means go ahead. If you think that you are being not honest, but you're being bordering on rude because of the way that you're saying something, then think for a while before you say what you're going to say and find a different way to do it. All right?
And just lastly, if you don't mind me, James, he mentioned about the love therapy. Just a quick note on that. You can find lots of information about the seminars, when it happens, where, on our website. It's lovetalkshow.tv. And you can also ask us questions on lovelab@lovetalkshow.tv. Okay?
It's been a pleasure to be here with you. Until next time, have a wonderful afternoon.